Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. Let me start by saying, I never thought I'd be the one telling this kind of story, because for a long time, I refused to believe any of it could be real in my life. My name is Marcus, and if you've ever been in a relationship where the ground suddenly slipped and everything started falling off the table, you'll want to stick around. Because when a partner drops "I need space," most guys panic. And that's exactly when smart choices matter the most. So let's take it from the beginning and walk it straight. 15 years, that's how long Celeste and I had been married. A decade and a half of building routines and weathering seasons. The kind of stretch where imperfection is normal and teamwork is what keeps the frame from buckling. We were never perfect. No couple is, but I believed we had a solid foundation. Fights, fixes, high notes, low notes, always ending with the same chorus on the same side. Then something shifted. The texture of the day changed first, and then the nights did too. Conversations got shorter, answers got thinner. She started staying up later than usual with the glow of a phone becoming its own nightlight, her screen lighting her face while the rest of the room sat still. When I asked what she was doing, she shrugged, just scrolling, just texting a friend. And for a minute that was enough, because privacy is a thing adults should have. But the pattern got louder, even if the volume stayed low. She started laughing at messages she wouldn't show me, tilting her phone away, setting it face down on the table, acting like notifications were private earthquakes. Sometimes a text would land, and instead of replying in place, she'd stand, take the phone, and leave the room, as if walls needed to be part of the conversation. That's when uneasiness started creeping in, the kind that shows up only when you've known someone long enough to recognize a different rhythm in their steps. I told myself I might be overthinking it, making a mountain out of a handful of pixels, but deep down, a quieter version of me knew better. One evening, she sat me down with a serious look that didn't match the evening no background music. No warm-up, just intent. Dinner was done. She set her fork down, took a measured breath, and looked me straight in the eyes. Marcus, I need space to find myself. My brain processed the words immediately, but my body went perfectly still. No flinch, no show, just a slow quiet settling in my chest that I refused to wear on my face. I nodded slowly and leaned back. Space, huh? I repeated, neutral, almost faintly amused, making sure my voice carried no heat, no hurt, just a cool question mark. Here's something I've learned the hard way. The person who stays calm holds the power in the room, and I had no intention of handing that away. She hesitated. She hadn't expected me to hold it so lightly, and that was the first confirmation that this wasn't about self-reflection or a true breather. It smelled like something else entirely. My gut told me the truth, and experienced people know. When your gut talks, you listen. I asked what she meant exactly. Did she need time alone in the house? Was she planning to travel? Was she overwhelmed by a pile of everything? She gave me vague, prefabricated responses. I just need to figure things out. An empty phrase that means everything and nothing at once. I watched closely. The missed eye contact, the fidgeting fingers, all the small giveaways people pretend aren't visible when they don't want to talk. Right then, I made a decision. I would not ask her 100 questions she'd already decided not to answer. I would find out the truth myself, quietly, carefully, cleanly, because love can be loyal, but instincts are there to keep you from walking into fires with your eyes closed. People say, trust your partner. I say, trust your instincts. And mine weren't whispering, they were shouting. In the days that followed, I started digging. Not recklessly, not wildly, just paying the level of attention the situation had earned. First, I checked her phone records. Nothing wild, just looking for a recurring number that didn't belong, a pattern that said there was a new constant. Sure enough, one number stood out, again and again, like clockwork. Next, I scrolled through her social media, not doom scrolling, just noting the subtleties. Who was liking more? Who was commenting more? And more importantly, who she had suddenly decided to follow again. That's when I saw it, a familiar name we hadn't said out loud in years. Her high school boyfriend, the pre-US footnote she used to talk about like an unfinished teenage chapter. There he was, back in her orbit. I didn't panic. I gave myself the speech, maybe it's nothing. Maybe they just reconnected like a lot of people do. But then I saw the messages, long threads, emojis, just thinking about old times. Texts, the kind that should never live inside a married woman's inbox. I could have woken her up right then and demanded an explanation. But I didn't, because when someone tells you they need space, they already took it. The decision was made before the announcement, and what they want is your reaction to soften their guilt. But here's the part most men miss. When a woman asks for space, she expects you to chase call, text, show up with flowers, ask how to fix it. So I did exactly the opposite. I gave her the space she requested on my terms. If she didn't talk to me, I didn't talk to her. When she did, I kept it short, polite and distant. No cold shoulder, no petty jabs, just controlled indifference. And since I wasn't spending my life begging for attention, I pivoted back to myself, like my future depended on it. First stop, the gym. I hit the weights harder than I had in years, not to win her back, not to show off, but because putting energy into something that pays you back never misses. Then I upgraded the wardrobe, well-fitted basics, clean lines, patterns that actually belonged, and retired the tired stuff I should have replaced a long time ago. Fresh haircut, shave line neat every morning, mirror nodding back at me like it remembered my name. Most importantly, I rekindled my social life. I texted old friends, accepted invitations I'd been declining, grabbed Friday night by the front of the shirt, and went out instead of sitting at home doing what-ifs. See, Celeste had her support circle, the friends who listen, hype, and echo lines like, "You deserve to be happy," and that's fine. But those same women noticed the new energy on me very quickly. In casual run-ins, I wasn't the bitter, heartbroken husband anyone expected. I was calm, confident, comfortable in my own skin, joking lightly, smiling more, and keeping the conversation buoyant. At first, it was quick glances and lingering smiles, the casual, "Wow, Marcus, you're looking good these days," kind of thing. And then, it escalated into genuine curiosity and longer conversations. And yes, she saw it too. She saw the way they laughed at my jokes and how they stayed in the conversation a little longer. She saw the confidence she'd stopped looking for at home show up in public, where her friends could see it. At first, Celeste enjoyed the so-called freedom. She convinced herself the choice was noble, necessary, that she needed time to breathe and explore, to find herself, like a destination she could pin on a map. But dynamics shift, and hers shifted hard. Her excitement turned into unease when she realized I was not sulking or waiting around. I had moved forward, and that fact pulled something out of her she didn't plan for. The first signs of jealousy were subtle. The quick tension when her friends giggled around me, the way her best friend turned extra warm, tossing compliments my way like confetti. I wasn't doing anything special. I was simply being a better version of myself, and it worked. Celeste noticed, and that's when it landed. She was losing me, and distance had flipped from something she wanted to a weapon aimed at her own foot. She couldn't help herself. One evening, while I was sitting in the living room casually scrolling, she walked in and asked, "How was your day?" As if everything from the past weeks had been a dream with no consequences. I didn't give her what she came for. "It was good," I said. No details, no enthusiasm, just neutral like a weather report. Polite tone, distant posture, uninterested without being unkind. I wasn't rude. I just made it very clear with my rhythm that she wasn't the priority she had once been. I saw it flicker across her face. She expected a beam of relief, a laugh, a lean in. Instead, she ran into a wall of calm. That was the start of her realization. A few days later, she tried again. This time with more effort, longer conversations, questions about my plans, comments about my appearance, small acknowledgments of the new me she had tried to pretend didn't exist. Then came the suggestion that carried a hidden hope. We should go out sometime. Just us dinner, maybe. I knew the move. She wanted to slide back in like nothing had happened and let time erase the ink. I nodded and said, "Maybe. Let me check my schedule." That answer bruised her. She expected a quick yes, a relief-colored eagerness. Instead, she had to sit with the uncertainty she once handed me like it didn't weigh anything. Then came the wardrobe shift. She started wearing the outfits she knew I liked, hair done the way I always complimented, perfume passing by me in the hallway like a sentence she wanted me to finish. But I didn't bite. I stayed cool, composed, fully in control of my time and attention. It was only a matter of time before the facade cracked, and when it did, I memorized the moment. One night, she finally said the line I knew was coming, but refused to pull out of her. She sat down, met my eyes, and said softly, "I think I made a mistake. I don't need space. I need us." I leaned back and let the words hang between us until the air registered their weight, then answered with the sentence that had been waiting on the tip of my tongue. "I gave you space because you asked for it. Now I'm not sure I want to go back to how things were." Her face fell. Power shifted in the room so clearly you could feel it against your skin. Regret showed up in her eyes, bright and late. But the truth was simple and didn't require a speech. "I'm done," I said, steady. "Even, you wanted space, and I realized I deserve someone who never needs it in the first place." And just like that, it was over cleanly, without drama. She sat, stunned, unable to process how the man she thought would wait forever had slipped from her hand because she let go first. As for the high school sweetheart, he was a distraction, an ego snack. He was never serious about her, just an old flame playing at nostalgia before returning to his real life. The separation took months to finalize, and somewhere before the papers ran out of places to sign, she confessed, "I regret it. I regret all of it." By then, I had already moved on, already in a better place with someone who recognized the value I brought without needing to watch other women recognize it first. And she was left alone. So what do you think? Was I wrong for handling it this way? Should I have taken her back after everything? Or was moving on the right choice? Some will say, "Man, you should have fought for your marriage." But answer me this: fight for what? For someone who was ready to toss me aside the second she thought there was a shinier option? For someone who only remembered my worth when she saw other people seeing it? That's not love, that's possession. And there's a big difference. Here's a hard-earned truth. When a woman says she needs space, very often she's already made up her mind. She just doesn't want to say the full truth out loud. Space lets her explore options without feeling the immediate guilt. And the moment you beg, plead, try to convince her why you're worth staying for, she loses even more respect for you, because you just confirmed the suspicion you're afraid of, that you're desperate and she can do better. Listen, fellas, if you ever get hit with the "I need space" line, don't chase, don't cry, don't drown her phone in messages about how much you love her. That's exactly what she expects, and it only makes her choice easier. Give her exactly what she asked for, but on your terms. Pull back, work on yourself, hit the gym, upgrade your wardrobe, go out with your friends. Make sure she sees you thriving without her, not vindictively, but visibly, because presence is louder than explanation. Here's the wild part. Once she sees other women noticing you, once it's obvious you're moving forward instead of waiting, the questions start spinning in her head. The jealousy creeps in. The what-ifs multiply. And suddenly, she's the one chasing. And when that happens, it's your decision, not hers, whether she's worth taking back. In the end, it's about self-respect. Don't let anyone treat you like a backup plan. Know your worth And if someone needs to lose you to realize it, let them lose you for good. Tell me, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If someone needs to hear this, send it to them. And if you've been here before, tell me how you handled it. Until next time, take care and stay sharp.